What if I told you the universe isn't listening to the smile you post online, the affirmations you repeat, or the gratitude list you write every morning, but to the words you whisper to yourself in the dark when no one is watching? Most people have been told that if they want to manifest something, all they need to do is keep their vibe high. Be happy, think positive, stay grateful, and life will give them what they want. But if that were true, then everyone who meditates every day, says affirmations, and practices gratitude would already be living their dream lives. Yet many of them are still stuck in the same place, sometimes for years. The harder they try to force a smile and keep up a good mood, the more their ideal reality seems to slip further away. That's because forcing positivity when you don't feel it is like putting perfume on an open wound. It may mask the smell, but the wound is still there. And over time, it festers. The truth is, the universe doesn't respond to the act you put on for the world. It responds to the real frequency you hold when you're alone, when no one is watching, when you have no reason to pretend. Most people get stuck because they look positive on the outside but carry doubt, fear, and feelings of lack on the inside. They post inspiring quotes, smile for the camera, or repeat mantras, but deep down they are still vibrating with the belief that they don't have what they want. The universe responds to that inner signal, not the performance. Your subconscious knows when you're faking it, and it records that fake positivity as evidence that you still believe you are without the thing you desire. That recording becomes your vibrational password, the hidden message you're sending out, and the universe simply mirrors that message back to you. This is why so many people feel frustrated after doing all the right manifestation techniques. They meditate, visualize, speak affirmations, try to feel high vibe emotions, and yet nothing changes. They start to think they're not visualizing correctly or not feeling it enough, when in truth, the problem is much simpler and more uncomfortable. You can't lie to your own energy. Ancient Hermetic philosophy calls this the pendulum effect. Every time you push yourself toward one extreme artificially, you create an equal pull back toward the opposite. If you force yourself into fake positivity, there's always a counterwave of doubt, sadness, or frustration waiting to swing you back. The body feels it. The heart knows it. The truth leaks through no matter how polished your smile is. You can convince social media, your friends, or even your family that everything is fine, but the universe doesn't respond to your image. It responds to your real, unfiltered vibration in private moments. Moments without likes, without an audience, without any need to impress. The strangest part is that the more you try to force a feeling, the more your body resists. The body stores every memory, every wound, every unresolved emotion. When you try to paint over that with fake joy, it locks up. The mind starts to doubt you. The heart feels heavier. No emotional makeup will hold on a body that is screaming the truth. The universe does not respond to fake joy. It responds to coherence. When your thoughts, feelings, and actions are aligned with your true state. This means you don't have to be happy all the time to manifest. You don't have to deny your pain. The problem is not in feeling sadness, fear, or lack. The problem is in pretending those feelings aren't there. Pain doesn't dissolve when it's ignored. Lack doesn't disappear when it's covered up. Fear doesn't fade when it's denied. All of it grows stronger in the dark. True transformation comes not from denial, but from integration. meeting the truth directly and choosing who you will be inside it. The deepest truth is that your real vibrational command is set in your lowest moments, not your best ones. It isn't set when you are happily visualizing your dream home or listening to a guided meditation. It is set in the silence when you break down, when the mask comes off, when you have no energy left to keep up the act. In that moment, whatever you truly believe about yourself is what your subconscious records. If in that state you think, "I'll never make it," or "nothing ever works for me," that becomes the energetic instruction you send out. This is the moment when the universe is listening the closest, not to what you're trying to project, but to what you finally admit when there's no more pretending. In Egyptian myth, Thoth is the scribe of the gods, the one who records what the heart declares in secret. In the ancient stories, during the judgment of the heart, it's not the image you presented to the world that is weighed, but the hidden truth inside you. Thoth represents the cosmic principle that doesn't judge or punish, but simply writes down the real word of your heart. This is what the universe follows. Every breakdown, every moment of loss or failure is like a checkpoint where you declare to life who you believe yourself to be. If you decide in that moment, "I am a failure," life takes that as a command, not as a complaint. If you decide, "I always lose," the universe doesn't hear it as venting. It hears it as confirmation and continues to match it. This is the part almost no one talks about. The moment you fall apart is not just a low point. It's a moment of vibrational decision. You get to decide who you are even when things are breaking. This choice, made in honesty, carries more weight than 1,000 hours of fake positivity. The real master of manifestation is not the person who never falls, but the one who can touch the ground without forgetting who they are. This is conscious authority, the inner state where you can feel fear, sadness, or frustration without handing over your identity to it. It is the ability to say, "This is what I'm feeling, but it's not all of me. It's not the final word on who I am." When you can stand in a hard moment, name the truth of how you feel, and still choose a self-definition that aligns with the life you want, you change the signal you're sending. Instead of pretending to be happy when you're not, you allow your emotion to be there, move through you, and then you choose the lowest believable truth that still points toward your goal. This isn't about leaping from despair to joy. It's about shifting from "I'll never get there" to "This is hard, and I'm still moving forward." The universe doesn't require you to be ecstatic. It requires you to be coherent. And coherence comes from honesty joined with choice. Every night before sleep, the last thought you truly believe about yourself goes deep into your subconscious. Every morning, the first choice you make becomes a signal to the day. If, in those moments, you choose a sentence that reflects your direction, and you back it up with even the smallest action that aligns with it, you start to change the vibration you live in. Over time, this vibration becomes the new password that life responds to. It's not the words you say the most. It's the words you say with the most truth in the moments when you're too tired to act. That is what Thoth writes down. That is what the universe obeys. And that is how you move from faking high vibes to living in a steady, real frequency that has the power to reshape your reality. Most people live as if their feelings are who they are. When they feel happy, they see themselves as strong, worthy, and confident. But when they feel sad, insecure, or defeated, they suddenly believe that's their true identity. They sink into those feelings as if there's no escape, as if sadness proves they've failed or fear proves they were never meant to succeed. This is one of the biggest mistakes a person on a conscious path can make. True self-mastery is the complete opposite of that. It's the ability to feel sadness, fear, anger, or doubt, and still know deep down that none of those emotions define you. You can feel them without becoming them. You can observe them without claiming them as your identity. It's like walking through a storm knowing the storm cannot change who you are inside. The rain can soak your clothes. The wind can push you around, but your essence stays untouched. Ancient Hermetic teachings describe this beautifully. Thoth taught that the true initiate is not the one who never falls, but the one who, the moment they touch the ground, instantly remembers their divine essence. What separates a master from a beginner is not a life free of hardship, but an awareness that stays awake even in the middle of chaos. Imagine a temple built on solid rock. Earthquakes shake the ground, but the temple remains standing because its foundation is unshakable. Conscious authority, that deep inner leadership, is that rock inside you. Most people build their identity on the sand of temporary feelings. The true creator builds on the solid ground of unchanging truth. I am not what I feel. I am what I choose to be, no matter what I feel. This is not about shutting down emotions or pretending to be unaffected. It's about allowing yourself to feel fully without letting those feelings take control of your destiny. You can feel sadness without becoming a sad person. You can feel fear without living as a fearful person. You can welcome every emotion as a visitor, learn from it, and still choose the direction of your life. In every difficult moment, you have an invitation to ask, who do I choose to be in the face of this? And every time you answer with clarity, even if you are crying, even if no one sees it, even if your voice shakes, your subconscious records, this is who I am. The universe responds to that declaration. At this point, pain stops being something you run from. Hard moments stop being threats to your existence. They become mirrors, showing you the truth of who you are and the strength you carry. When you live with conscious authority, you stop being at the mercy of your circumstances. You become the one who shapes them. The outside world can crumble, but inside you remain whole. The challenge, of course, is staying in that place without falling back into old habits. And the way to do that is not by pure willpower or emotional control. It's about choosing the role you live every single day. The universe does not respond to a passing mood or a temporary burst of motivation. It responds to the role you consistently act out in your life. Life is like a vast cosmic theater. The scenes change, the props change, the people around you change, but you are always the main character. The question is, which character are you playing? Are you playing the victim, the one who always loses, the one who is unlucky or rejected? Or are you playing the role of someone who has already won, who is already whole, who already lives in the reality they want, even before it shows up around them? Wanting prosperity is one thing. Thinking, speaking, deciding, and acting as someone who is already prosperous is another. Wanting love is one thing. Behaving like someone who is already worthy of deep love, without begging for attention or chasing approval, is another. The universe does not give you what you say you want. It gives you what you show yourself to be. This is not pretending or faking. It's fully inhabiting the version of yourself that already exists in truth. In Hermetic wisdom, the universe echoes the role you represent. Every thought you think, every decision you make, every action you take tells the universe, "This is who I am." And the universe answers, "So be it." That's why feeling confident for a moment isn't enough. You must act like a confident person in your daily life. Feeling wealthy for a few minutes during a visualization exercise isn't enough. You must carry yourself like someone who already holds abundance in their being. Emotions rise and fall, but the role you choose and commit to keep sending out a steady vibration. That steady vibration, your true frequency, shapes your reality far more than fleeting feelings. When you begin to live from that chosen identity, something shifts in the invisible realms long before you see it in the physical world. What you experience here is just the delayed reflection of what's already organized on higher planes, the mental and energetic levels of existence. Just like any building begins with a blueprint before a single brick is laid, your life begins as a design in your mind and energy before it shows up in form. If you ignore this invisible level, you will keep trying to fix your life from the outside, changing jobs, cities, relationships, appearances, and for a while, it may seem different. But soon, you find yourself back in the same patterns, because what is not created in the invisible cannot last in the visible. Thoth taught that the true temple is not made of stone, but is built in the mind. That inner temple is where your life is designed, sculpted, and decided before it is lived. It is not a place you visit occasionally when meditating or reading something inspiring. It is a permanent state of consciousness you carry into every choice, every word, every action, whether you know it or not. You are always building in that inner temple. If you feed it fear, lack, guilt, or anger, those will be projected into your outer life. The real question is not, am I creating? But, what am I creating without realizing it? Trying to change your outer reality without shifting your inner state is like trying to erase a shadow by hitting it. The shadow only changes when you change the light source. Your physical life is that shadow. Your inner state is the light. Hidden within an ancient name lies the universe's oldest creative pattern. In the Hebrew tradition, the sacred name YHWH is more than a word. It is a map for manifestation. Each of its 4 letters represents a step in the creative process. Leave one step out, and creation stalls. Follow them all, and manifestation stops being random and becomes precise. It begins with Yod, the point of awareness, the first spark of desire, the pure seed of potential before it has any form. This is the moment you realize you want something. Then comes He, the clear vision, when you give that spark an image in your mind, seeing it with detail and clarity. Next is VAV, the feeling of belonging, when your body accepts this vision as real, when you carry it as something that already fits you. Finally comes the second He, embodiment, taking physical action that matches the vision, moving through the world as if it is already yours. If you stop at the first step, nothing happens. If you stop at the second, you are only daydreaming. If you stop at the third, you may feel inspired for a while, but the energy fades without action. When all 4 steps flow together, awareness, vision, belonging, embodiment, you create with the full alignment of mind, body, and spirit. Over time, this way of living becomes your default. You stop being someone who reacts to feelings and start being someone who directs reality. You stop waiting for your life to change before you change, and instead, you live from the truth of who you choose to be until the world has no choice but to reflect it back. Manifestation begins when you not only imagine something, but also feel and energize it as if it already exists in the invisible. The VAV is like a bridge that connects your mind to your vibration. Without it, your ideas stay in your head like dreams with no power, unable to cross over into the physical. That bridge is what gives your vision the energy to move from being just a thought into something real. But even with that energy, there's still one more step that makes the process complete: action. This is the final expression, the moment when you move in the physical world as someone who already lives in the reality you created inside. Awareness alone is not enough. Visualization alone is not enough. Feeling alone is not enough. If your daily choices still show the behavior of someone who doesn't have it, isn't ready for it, or doesn't belong in it, you are sending mixed signals to the universe. The universe does not respond to what you say you want. It responds to who you are being. Every gesture, every choice, every tone in your voice is a signal of your true identity. When you act in alignment with what you've already decided is yours, you show that your frequency is locked in. The process of creation is not some untouchable mystery. The name YHWH itself reveals a precise, logical sequence. The ancient Egyptians taught something similar through the table of Thoth: idea, form, energy, and manifestation. They understood that creating anything follows the same steps, whether it's shaping a statue or shaping your life. You conceive it, you give it form, you add energy, and then you bring it into matter. Skip any step, and the result collapses, like building a house without a foundation or walls. But even when you follow the steps, there is a stage almost everyone struggles with: the gap. This is the time between the moment you decide internally who you are and the moment the external world begins to reflect it. This gap can last days, weeks, or months. During it, life might still look exactly as it did before. The bills still come. The same challenges show up. The same limitations try to take the stage. This is where most people give up because they want visible proof before they commit inside. But the universe works the other way. It mirrors back who you are already being, not who you hope to be someday. This gap is not a punishment. It's part of the design. It's a proving ground that asks one question: will you hold your chosen identity when nothing around you confirms it? Many don't. At the first sign of contradiction, they step back into the old self. They say they're prosperous, but at the first unexpected bill, they start thinking like someone in lack. They say they're healthy, but at the first sign of pain, they act like someone who's sick. This back and forth sends out a shaky, unstable frequency, and the universe responds by pausing the creation. The true creator doesn't negotiate with themselves. They don't hold their stance out of pride or stubbornness, but because they have an inner certainty that doesn't depend on proof. They understand one of the deepest truths: the physical is always the last to know. First you vibrate, then you see. It's like planting a seed. For days, nothing on the surface changes, but under the soil, life is forming. The roots grow before the sprout appears. If you give up during that time, you never see the green break through. Nature shows us that growth always happens in the invisible first, then reveals itself in the visible. If your reality doesn't yet match your declaration, it doesn't mean you've failed. It means the universe is watching to see if your frequency is truly locked in, or if it was just a burst of excitement. In that silence, your vibration proves itself. When it's solid, the outer world has to reflect it. That's not magic. That's law. Everything that is coherent in the invisible becomes inevitable in the visible. But here's where most people slow themselves down without realizing it. Even after doing the internal work, visualizing, feeling, affirming, they behave like their old self. Their body moves in the same old ways. Their decisions are small and cautious, as if they're still testing the waters instead of standing firm. Their words carry hesitation. The universe doesn't listen to hopeful thoughts or big dreams. It listens to the match between your inner state and your outer behavior. Frequency isn't something airy that lives only in your head. It's in your body, your choices, your tone, your presence. Your frequency is who you are being every moment of the day, not just who you are during meditation. It's how you wake up, how you treat strangers, how you face problems, how you carry yourself when no one is watching. Every small action either strengthens the signal of your new identity or strengthens the signal of your old one. If you want prosperity, watch how you make decisions. Someone in prosperity doesn't live in fear of losing, doesn't hoard from panic, and doesn't spend recklessly. They make choices from trust in the flow, knowing what they invest returns, what they share comes back multiplied. If you want love, don't wait for someone to give it to you before you feel it. Treat yourself as someone who is already deeply loved. Protect your energy. Respect your boundaries. Honor your time. If you want respect, carry yourself like someone worthy of it. Steady voice, clear words, direct eye contact, boundaries kept without apology. The outside world always mirrors the way you treat yourself. The truth is, the universe reads behavior as your clearest decree. Thoughts without action are like seeds without soil. They have nowhere to grow. You can think the most beautiful thoughts and feel the highest emotions, but unless you put them into physical proof, they remain weightless. The universe needs a body in motion, a hand building, a voice speaking, a decision being made. It responds to what you do, not just to what you imagine. The fastest way to speed up manifestation is to live now as the person who already has it. Speak, act, and choose from that place. The universe will not give you what you hope for. It will give you what you show you're ready to sustain. Yet even with all this, there is one silent enemy that can undo the process: doubt. Doubt is the most subtle saboteur. It rarely comes in as a loud attack. It comes disguised as caution, realism, or common sense. It doesn't shout. It whispers. After you visualized, felt, and acted with conviction, doubt asks softly, "Is this really going to work? Am I wasting my time?" In that moment, your strong frequency begins to wobble. This isn't just a passing insecurity. This is the unraveling of your command to the universe. Doubt weakens the signal until the universe no longer sees a clear, unwavering choice. That's why the gap is so important. It's not there to make you suffer, but to test your consistency. It asks if you will keep vibrating as your chosen self even when there's no sign, even when the world appears unchanged. Most people demand evidence before they believe. The Creator knows belief comes first, and evidence follows. The physical is the last to know. Once your frequency is solid and your actions match it, the universe cannot ignore it. It must reflect it back, because everything coherent in the invisible eventually becomes visible. Doubt is not just a passing thought you have in your mind. It is a vibration, a frequency, and the universe understands the language of frequency perfectly. Every moment of your life you are sending out signals through what you think, how you feel, the way you move, and the choices you make. The universe is always listening, always responding, not to the words you speak, but to the total vibration of your being. When you are clear, confident, and steady, your frequency is pure, and the universe receives your message without distortion. But when doubt enters, even for a moment, the tone of your vibration changes. The signal is no longer clean. It's like tuning into a radio station that is playing your favorite song, the song of your manifestation, and then turning the dial just slightly. The music becomes fuzzy, static starts to hum, and the melody you loved is now buried under noise. The universe hears that static. It senses the hesitation, the uncertainty, the mixed message. And when the universe doesn't clearly understand your command, it cannot deliver. It doesn't take a flood of doubt to break your signal. Even the smallest spark is enough to weaken your field. You can want something with all your heart, see it in vivid detail, take bold steps toward it. And yet, if somewhere deep inside there is a small voice that whispers, maybe it won't happen, or maybe I don't deserve it, your entire vibration changes. The universe doesn't work with what you consciously desire. It works with what your whole being is already broadcasting. The ancient masters understood this perfectly. They taught that a doubtful word sends a weak echo, and the universe treats that echo as an unsure request. An unsure request doesn't set creation in motion. To create, you must be crystal clear. You must carry a conviction so strong that it does not depend on proof from the outside world. You must believe it fully before you see it. The mistake so many make is thinking that doubt is wisdom. They call it being realistic, cautious, or practical, when in truth it is self-sabotage wearing a mask. Doubt is like pressing the brake while flooring the gas. You burn energy, you make noise, you vibrate with effort, but you don't move forward. That is why some people do everything: visualize, affirm, take action, and still nothing changes. Their foot is still on the brake. If you have reached this point, you must turn inward and ask yourself the uncomfortable questions. Where does doubt still live in me? Do I truly believe I can have what I've asked for? Is there a hidden place in me that feels unworthy of receiving it? Do I secretly fear that all of this is an illusion and nothing real will come of it? Those are the cracks in the structure of your frequency. Those are the places where the signal leaks. And those are the places that must be sealed. The way to remove doubt is not to repeat empty affirmations or force yourself to believe with clenched fists. True doubt removal comes from full alignment, mind, emotions, body, and actions all in perfect harmony. Your mind must be clear about who you choose to be, not just what you want to have. Having is a natural result of being. When you know who you are choosing to be, confident, free, abundant, you must see that version of yourself so vividly that it feels like the truest thing in the world, even with your eyes closed. If your mind is unclear, the signal is unclear. Your emotions must match the picture your mind has created. You can imagine success, love, or prosperity, but if you still feel fear, lack, or insecurity underneath, the vibration will not hold. Your feelings breathe life into your vision. Without emotional alignment, your vision is like a beautiful image with no color, no light, no warmth. Your body also speaks to the universe, and it speaks loudly. You might say you are confident, but if you move like someone who is shrinking from the world, if you speak softly because you fear being heard, if your posture collapses under invisible weight, your body is telling a different story. The universe listens to that story. To align your body is to move, stand, and carry yourself like the person you already know yourself to be. And finally, your actions seal the command. If you think, feel, and move like someone abundant, but act out of fear, hesitation, or self-sabotage, you are sending a contradictory signal. Every choice you make either strengthens or weakens your frequency. Action is the proof the universe requires before it transforms the unseen into the seen. When mind, feelings, body, and actions all agree, the signal is pure. And when the signal is pure, the universe cannot help but respond. But when it responds, it rarely delivers your dream all at once, wrapped perfectly like a gift at your doorstep. Instead, it delivers in stages, small signs, fragments, early opportunities. These are the first bricks of the reality you are building. They are tests and invitations. The universe is watching to see what you will do with them. Will you honor them as the beginning of what you asked for? Or will you dismiss them because they don't look like the finished picture? Many close the door here without realizing it. They ask for love but meet someone who is kind without fitting their exact ideal. They ask for abundance but are offered a small opportunity that doesn't yet match their dream scale. They ask for transformation but are handed the first tools instead of the final result. This is the master craftsman phase. The universe gives you raw material to see if you can shape it. If you appreciate and use what is given, you will be given more. If you reject it because it doesn't look complete, the flow slows and stops. Every step, every sign, every coincidence is an invitation to show that your vibration is steady, that you are ready, that your desire is more than a passing mood. Gratitude here is not a performance. It is the natural vibration of someone who understands the process has already begun. And then comes the shift that changes everything. You stop asking. You stop waiting. You start being. The universe doesn't respond to requests. It responds to what you already are. Asking often carries the hidden message, I don't have it yet. Being says, I already am this. Being is not just saying the words. It is living them. It is thinking, feeling, moving, and acting in a way that leaves no space between your identity and your desire. This is what the ancients called the creative word. When the word becomes flesh, what you think, feel, and do are no longer separate. There is no conflict between your inner world and your outer life. Your vibration is whole, and the universe reflects that wholeness back to you. From this moment forward, the mantra is simple. I am the frequency of what I desire. Not as a phrase you repeat without power, but as a state you live in every choice, every movement, every response. Even if your physical reality hasn't caught up yet, you hold the frequency as if it has. Because the one who already is does not wait. They confirm and sustain. And when you do this, the universe has no choice but to match you, because everything in it seeks coherence. So now the question is not, what do you want to have? But who do you choose to be? The moment you decide and live as that version of yourself, your world begins to shift, not as a reward from the universe, but as the only possible reflection of the frequency you have chosen to become.